Welcome back to another episode of PARANORMASIGHT, the Mermaid's Curse. The Mermaid's Curse. I always forget the title. Yeah, let's continue with this. Why not? Ise Shima investigation. A mermaid corpse has been discovered on the beach near Ijika town. While Yumiko and her partner investigating its whereabouts, they run into an important local figure. Date unknown. Afternoon, Yamashina Estate, Ise City. Who's that? Mr. Yamashina. Thank you for agreeing to meet with us on such short notice. I understand you're a busy man. Not like I have much choice when it's some bigwig from the prefectural police badgering me to do so. So you're Shiki from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. Security Division, was it? Huh, and here I thought you were just some housemate. You sure you're from the police? That get up? Well, I am primarily a housewife by trade. That's hardly important right now. You're also known as Unkakudono, I believe. After hearing so many rumors, it's an honor to make your acquaintance. Rumors, huh? Unkakudono, Yoshiatsu, Yamashina. Yoshiatsu, Yamashina, male, tycoon, 70 years old. A wealthy tycoon who owns multiple companies and swathes of land, particularly in the Tsu and Isetsu areas. Born in the Taisho period, unmarried. His family first came into business in the Edo period, traveling from town to town selling talismans, miscanthus, reed hoops, and other items ward off evil spirits. During the Meiji period, this business expanded into a trading company, and the Yamashina family became prominent contributors to the development of the region. Born to the heir of the Yamashina family business and the daughter of a noble family, Yoshiatsu grew up in an affluent environment where he received a thorough education tailored to gifted children. Following the end of the war, Yoshiatsu inherited the company assets in his 30s but was quick to sell off all the shares he owned, using the proceeds to buy and sell real estate and stocks, a practice that made him extremely wealthy. After amassing his fortune, he showed a keen interest in investing in ambitious young people, actively mentoring those he took a particular liking to. This approach led to the emergence of many successful businessmen, which included Shinobu Wakamura of Kameshima. Those who have received Yamashina's support view him with both gratitude and a sense of awe bordering on reverence, referring to him as Unkakudono, a title that invokes a figure elevated above the clouds. Yamashina has always shown a strong attachment to wealth, even going so far as to partake in illicit activities such as illegal donations, tax evasion, insider trading, and media control, all in an effort to garner ever more status and money. In the shadow of the many success stories enabled by his support, many more of his beneficiaries have fallen into bankruptcy or been arrested, fueling endless unsavory rumors about him to this day. Yamashina himself, however, seems to be unconcerned by these rumors, considering anything that does not directly harm him to be beneath his notice. Even as a lifelong bachelor, he has surrounded himself with many followers, both publicly and privately, and has never lacked for anything to satisfy his personal needs. A few years ago, he began to seriously consider the issue of a successor, driven by his determination that his beloved fortune should never fall into the hands of someone untrustworthy. Perhaps for this reason, he began to develop a keen fascination with immortality around the same time and is said to be secretly investing vast amounts of money into research on the topic. Mermaids, right? Yeah. Yes, I hear you've been doing some under-the-table research into immortality. And so what if I am? Well now, I wouldn't have expected you to be such a dreamer, but it does make you just a bit more relatable. You can laugh all you want. What's it got to do with the police anyway? It seems on this particular occasion it has quite a bit to do with the police, unfortunately. You don't say. After looking into the corpse of the mermaid found earlier this morning, it seems highly likely that it was taken to the custody of Mr. Yamashina here. He's quite a big shot around here, with plenty of weight to throw around both politically and financially. Of course, all the local police know of him and of his moniker, Unkakudono. We had to get one of the higher-ups to act as an intermediary to even get a meeting with him. Personally, I'm happy as long as we can get the mermaid corpse back from him. Although I certainly won't complain if he can tell us anything about the curse as well. I hear he's quite the curmudgeon, so we'll have to watch our step when dealing with him. A curmudgeon? Is this a word? This is Yoshiatsu Yamashina. He's a tycoon with multiple properties and companies to his name, mostly based here in Izushima. He's long been rumored of being involved in various shady dealings. Special Investigations has had an eye on him for a while now, but they haven't managed to find any concrete evidence so far. It seems he has a knack for pinning the blame on his subordinates before finding a way to slip away. Needless to say, he and the police are quite familiar with each other by this point. Though I don't doubt he has local police chiefs and politicians under his thumb behind the scenes. There's no need for me to get involved in all that. I'll be satisfied as long as I get the information we need from him. Apparently he wears that crested hakama every day, not exactly casual wear for most people. Wearing something like that in the summer heat, that's commitment to keeping up appearances. These splendid gardens all fall within the grounds of Mr. Yamashina's Izu City estate. Part of me wonders why he needs so much space when he doesn't have a family, but I suppose he has an image to maintain. Mockingbird sticker! Mockingbird number 9! Ooh. Ooh, big boy. Big boy. Number 9. Kiting killer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's the kiting killer. The big killer of the kitings. Is there anything else interesting here? No, I don't think so. People like Yamashina have a tendency to underestimate me whenever I meet with them alone. Having someone intimidating like Soda with me gets them to take me more seriously. I'm glad he's here with me today. I'm amazed we were able to get an appointment with him this quickly. Yes, and all thanks to Detective Hide, who would seem quite a capable fellow. What is this civility? Is this just for the Mockingbird stickers or what? I don't understand. Okay. I will get straight to the point. I believe you took a mermaid corpse into your possession this morning. What? That corpse is linked to an ongoing case. We came here to ask you to release it into police custody. No idea what you're on about. Of course, you will get something in return. We have some information I'm sure you will find quite profitable in exchange. Like I said, no idea what you're on about. If that's all you came here for, then scram. Oh, pity. I really thought you would be interested in what we had to share. Assume you really are interested in immortality. Well, I suppose we barely know each other. It's only natural that you would be wary of our intentions. What do you say to a little chat to get to know each other better, Mr. Unkakudono? About Yamashina. I hear you've been putting quite a bit of effort into training of the younger generation recently. What's your take on today's youth? Useless. A lot of them. Bunch of pushovers that have let all this new generation tribe to go to their heads. We're the ones who built this country back after the war, but they're out there strutting around like they own the place, far too big for their britches. My, what a scathing review. Would our resident member of the new generation like to comment at all? Please don't call me that. I hear you've been searching for a successor, though. Given your strong opinions on the matter, I take it that you're struggling. Though I can see why that could lead to desire for immortality. After all, there's no need to cede your legacy to someone else if you can remain at the reins yourself, That might have been true when I started my research. Oh, I take it that isn't the case now? I am no spring chicken. The thought of living for hundreds of years like this ain't exactly appealing anymore. Don't see much point in immortality if I'm already long past my prime. Well, that certainly is different from the rumors. My apologies for jumping to conclusions. You have my wholehearted agreement that immortality doesn't necessarily bring happiness, though. Let me clear up one more thing while we're at it. I've already decided my successor. Oh? It turns out the perfect candidate was right under my nose the entire time. I haven't told them yet, but they're a sharp one. They will do a fine job. Is that so? I'm glad to hear it. I suppose that would mean that you no longer have any need for immortality then. Who said I wasn't still interested? It simply has nothing to do with my successor. I still intend on continuing my research for medical advancement, you understand. Think of it as doing my bit for society. You lot are always quick to assume the worst of whatever I do. How about you mind your own business for a change? Well, there's not much we can say to that. We try to be more discerning from now on. About mermaids. There's one thing I should warn you about. Eating the flesh of that mermaid you found won't grant you immortality. And what you know about that? Well, you know, one hears all sorts of things in this day and age. I don't know where it came from, but there seems to be a legend that eating mermaid flesh will grant one immortality. What I wanted to say was that it's just that, a legend. It has no basis in reality at all. How can you be so sure? Just think about it. If that legend were true, wouldn't it be strange that no confirmed immortals have ever been found? Yeah? Who's to say they aren't just living in hiding? The legend of Yao Bikuni is passed down in over 100 places across Japan, yet not a single verifiable immortal has even been found to show for it. So you mean to say all those legends were fake? Please. If even just one of those tales is true, there's always the chance there's an immortal hiding away somewhere. I see, you really are quite a dreamer, aren't you? I figured you were trying to bluff me out of that mermaid corpse for some reason or other. But now I'm sure of it. That thing's hiding some sort of secret, isn't it? Something you don't want me to find out. All we have up our sleeve is information on immortality. I suppose we just have to hope he takes the bait. About your machina again. I've already chosen my successor, no need to harp on about it anymore. Already written up my will and passed it off to my lawyer. You'll be sure to let your friends at the police know too. Okay. About you, Miko, again. By the way, you're obviously not just some run-of-the-mill cop. Who are you? Why, I believe I mentioned it when I introduced myself. I'm just a simple housewife. A likely tale. Plus, that fellow next to you also got a strange air about him. He's no ordinary person, is he? My, how observant of you. I suppose you could say that. Yes. Doesn't take a genius to see it. One of them phony psychic types, are you? Phony? Hit the nerve, did I? There are far too many of your kind around lately. cozying up to those in power by feeding them a bunch of nonsense, liars and cheaters, all of you. You seem to have quite a chip on your shoulder about this, Mr. Yamashina. Don't know if it's because of this occult craze going around, but I've seen far too many folks get taken in by that tribe. Occult craze, spiritual phenomena, the supernatural, aliens, cryptids, lost civilizations, extrasensory perception. The list goes on. Such unexplainable phenomena are quick to take on a life of their own. A plesiosaur named Nessie living in Loch Ness, sightings of mythical creatures like the Tsushinoko or Hibagon, the urban legends of the Kushisake Onna and Hanako-san, television reports of spoon-bending psychics, documentaries featuring spirit photography and UFOs that became the talk of the school in the next day. These are only a few examples of stories that have captivated the public's interest. Magazines specializing in paranormal phenomena continue to thrive with no end to the craze inside. Isn't this the same text 1-to-1 from the first game? Or am I crazy? I think this is the exact same text. That Wakamura over on Kamashima's one of them. Talk about a waste of potential. Wakamura. Can't say I care much about who you are anymore. You're going around with some phony psychic tells me all I need to know. How dare you? Sodo, calm down. He can think what he wants. About Mermaid. So you admit you have the Mermaid corpse then? Oh, don't worry, we assumed as much from the start. If I'm not mistaken, that Mermaid was in a sort of mummified state, no? I doubt you will be eating it as it is. Surely there's no harm in handing it over. So you can hock it for your hedgehog? So you can hock it for yourself? You won't fool me that easily. You don't think that a rare specimen like that ought to be placed in the care of a proper research institute? I'm saying I'll get a specialist research institute to study it. Problem solved. I suppose so. I'll make sure that mermaids get studied properly. Don't you worry about that. I will make sure worry about that. Okay. About the portrait sketch. By the way, you're quite well connected around these parts, if I'm not mistaken. This doesn't have anything to do with what we came here to talk about. But I was wondering if you happen to recognize the person in the sketch. It seems he lived in the Izashima area around 6 years ago. Nope, never seen him. I assume you've heard the news about the old human bones found on the seabed. This is a sketch of one of the victims from that case. You're sure you have no idea who it could be? First I've heard of it, actually. Got no interest in things that have nothing to do with me. Wakamura. Who might this Wakamura be? Wakamura is one of my prodigies. He's the one currently in charge over on Kamishima. Used to have high hopes for that one, but that changed when he came under the thrall of some phony sorcerer in Tokyo. Phony sorcerer in Tokyo? You heard right. Since then there's been no end to his nonsense. Buying properties out in the mountains, changing company names, all because of something the sorcerer whispered in his ear. He even told me the layout of my house was unlucky and tried to get me to renovate the place. Just recently he was going on about some curse causing a big storm. That sort of rubbish. A storm caused by a curse, you say? He even said the storm 5 years ago was caused by the same curse. He's been trying to wheedle me into helping him find some way to stop it. But I'm done with him and his ramblings. Man's clearly a lost cause. He'll be coming over here tomorrow morning, but I'm thinking it's time to have someone else take the reins over on Kamishima. I see. So even though you believe in immortality, you refuse to associate with anything to do with the occult. And you do? I figured someone claiming to be a cop would have more sense than that. How are you meant to solve crimes if criminals can just pull out curses left and right? You won't find me disagreeing there. So, what exactly has this Wakamura been saying about this curse? Hell if I remember. Why don't you go to Kamishima and ask the man yourself? Maybe we will. Thank you for the information. Is there anything you can tell us about the phony sorcerer this Wakamura is so devoted to? Wakamura went on about how there's some big shot who appeared on television. I never heard of him. As I said, just ask him yourself. Of course, we'll be sure to do so. Perhaps he isn't as fixated on immortality as I thought. That leaves us in a rather unfavorable position. How should we approach this now, I wonder? How about this then? If you agree to give half the mermaid, we'll tell you what we know in return. For someone who doesn't seem to believe in the occult, you seem awfully fixated on this mermaid and immortality, which suggests to me you've found something you consider quite conclusive. What are you on about now? Well, I happen to know a bit more about mermaids than most people. Ma'am, are you sure? It's fine. I had the opportunity to do some research into them a while back, you see. You don't say, and? Well, mermaids do indeed have the ability to grant a human immortality. Ha! I knew it. More precisely, individuals granted immortality in this way are known as 800-year immortals. So they have a lifespan of 800 years? That's right, as the name suggests, they gain 800 years of remaining life. During this time they won't age a day, and even if they die, they will resurrect immediately. Sounds like a real blessing. No, I'm afraid that's anything but. One who defies the very laws of nature like that is no longer human. They are an anomalous they are an anomalous being that should not be allowed to exist. As such, our position requires that any such individuals we find are dealt with as swiftly as possible. Indeed, this immortality was originally a curse mermaids placed upon humans. A curse. Immortality is neither a blessing nor salvation for the living. It's a curse that robs them of the ability to die. None of those who have become 800-year mortals have found happiness, not one. It renders living among other humans impossible and makes them an outcast from society. Of course, there are a few years at first when life will be tolerable, but after that, every meeting ends in parting. You outlive whomever you love or are loved by. Even if you find acceptance, it will only be for a time. You will always be shunned eventually. You will experience this over and over for 800 years. 800 years unable to die with loneliness as your constant companion. This is why many see no other recourse than a life of monastic seclusion, just as Yao Bikuni did. Very similar to Yuzu's mother. Yeah. I suppose that makes sense. Still, there will always be those who seek immortality, always have, always will be. You think so? I for one struggle to see the appeal. In any case, there are also certain conditions that must be met for this curse of immortality to be effective. Eating mermaid's flesh alone isn't enough to make you an 800-year mortal. Oh, and what exactly are these conditions? Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not aware of the specifics there myself. 800-year immortal. I wonder if certain people from England are 800 years immortal as well. A person who has gained an 800-year lifespan after being cursed by a mermaid. Someone who ingests part of the body of a mermaid that meets certain conditions will be cursed and become a being known as an 800-year immortal. Once cursed, the individual's own body is lost and a provisional body is reconstructed using the parts of the mermaid ingested as a medium. What? The individual's own body is lost, and a provisional body is reconstructed using the parts of the mermaid ingested as a medium. The soul is then transferred to this provisional body, which they are able to control as if it were their own, with their consciousness presiding over both their soul and body from the head. As such, they could already be considered to be more spirit in nature than human. Is this what happened to User? Like when we were diving and saw our body, our corpse in the hole, did we see our original body? And the User we're playing now, he it's a mermaid user. I mean, it pretty much sounds like it, right? If the individual is fatally wounded or contracts an illness that results in their death, their body will instantly be restored to its default state, allowing them to revive. In the event they lose any body parts, their heart will treat the largest remaining part of them as their main body and regenerate any lost parts from there, with the removed parts subsequently vanishing. This even occurs in the event that the lost body part is the head. However, these individuals heal from non-fatal wounds at only a slightly faster rate than their bodies would be capable of naturally. Yeah, I think User is the 800-year immortal. This would make sense, like, this would explain why he survived the storm in the first place. This also would kind of explain how he can revive when we die during diving. Right? Died a lot during diving, and even this part would be explained by this, kind of. This is genius. As these people will feel physical sensations and pain to the same extent as they would have in their original body, it is extremely difficult to tell whether an individual is an 800-year mortal or not unless they die, even for the individual themselves. The lifespan of this provisional body is 800 years from the time of its creation. Due to the individual's original body already being lost, not even the mermaid responsible for the original curse is able to dispel it. The individual will only see the end of their long life once 800 years have passed. Damn. Okay. But I can say this much at least. The mummy you have in your possession is no mermaid. Huh? Bullshit. Ain't no way that's anything other than a mermaid. What I mean to say is that mummy is a different being from the mermaids who wield this curse. Not all half fish, half human beings are mermaids, you see. In fact, calling them all by the same name is what leads to mishaps like this one. Say what? You mean to tell me that's not a mermaid, that real mermaids are a completely separate thing? That's right, which is why I can say with confidence that eating its flesh won't make you mortal. Seems like you were bluffing after all. So what is that thing then? There's gotta be some reason you're after it. Imagine that even if you had it dissected and examined, all results would point to it being just a mass of fibers. In other words, nothing more than a man-made fake. Huh? There's a very good reason for that, you see. That mummy is merely the corpse of an average human, twisted beyond recognition by the curse of the forsaken fish. What? Another curse? Another curse wielded by mermaids, as it happens. That would be the remains of someone who died under it. It also happens to be the same curse responsible for the mermaids found every few hundred years or so across the country. You see now why we'd rather you handed the mermaid over to us. The poor soul deserves a proper burial, same as anyone else. Surely even you are not as so hard-hearted as to deny them that. Curses this, curses that. It's all a bunch of hokum, if you ask me. That said, the report I got from the research institute earlier said exactly the same thing. Oh my, I take it you already had the Mermaid dissected then. They said it was likely fake, but asked if I wanted them to keep going anyway. I told them to keep at it, but... It should be clear now that you have nothing to gain from researching that corpse, least of all information on immortality. Won't you consider handing it over? Of course, we could always take you in on charges of abandonment and desecration of a corpse. Alright, have it your way. I'm so glad you've come around. Thank you for your cooperation. Perhaps he isn't as fixated on immortality as I thought. I will give you the damn mermaid, but in exchange I want you to tell me one thing. What is it? You say there are real mermaids out there. Where are these real mermaids hiding then? I suppose you could call it the eternal world. This is probably what we saw in the title screen, which is why I'm saying that there's probably a world where time flows differently, in my opinion, I think. The eternal world. Yes, mermaids are not creatures of this world, you see. Their original home is Ryugu, the domain of the sea god. Ryugu, and how do you get there? I'm sorry to say that Ryugu's doors are only open to the dead. Going there is impossible for a living human. You could claim anything with a fairy tale like that. It all sounds like hokum. That said, the entrance to Ryugu is said to lie somewhere in the Easy Sea. There have been numerous sightings of mermaids crossing over to this world in the area's long history, which is why Ise Bay has its share of mermaid legends too. Now that you mention it, I have heard one of those stories too. Some old tale about mermaids being found on some long-lost island called Taishima or the like. What? Wait a moment, where did you hear that story? Caught your interest, have I? Looks like this story has some merit to it after all. I was simply surprised, that's all. It's not a name I've come across in any historical records. Taishima. This is the island which presumably casted the curse on Kamishima, right? An island said to have previously been located to the south of Kamishima, yeah. As it has long since vanished, it is sometimes referred to as Taeshima or Lost Island. No official records remain and remains shrouded in mystery, with the knowledge of it preserved only in tales passed down between residents of the Isashima area. Legends say the island was besieged by someone 400 years prior, and the curse of the murdered islanders caused the entire island to sink. It's just something I heard from one of the young'uns I have out there looking for mermaids. I see, sounds like you've got a capable young hand. I don't suppose it would be possible to meet with this individual? Nope, not happening. Unless you're willing to spill the beans on everything you know about mermaids, every last bit of info. Maybe, just maybe, I would consider then. It's clear you're no ordinary housewife after all. Not interested, then this meeting is over. I will hand the corpse over to the police as promised. But don't think I've given up on mermaids or immortality. If they really exist, I will find them and make them mine. What a creepy old guy, right? Yamashina Estate, Ise City. Date unknown, afternoon, Ise City, city area. Hey there, you two. Sorry for calling you out here when you were so busy. I figured it would be best to give you the rundown on our findings as soon as possible. It's no problem, go ahead. Poster. And what have we here? Oh, it's a poster advertising Kamishima. Something about to catch your eye? No, I was just thinking, surely it would be better to put it somewhere tourists will actually see it. Good point. Maybe they had some posters left over. Interested in Kamishima, are you? It's a nice place. Great tourist spot too, I recommend it. This is one of Ise City's residential districts. Right now, the ground is so hot, the air around it seems to be shimmering. A message came in from Detective Ide just as we were about to head to Kamishima, so we stopped by to hear what he had to say. Impressively quick work on his part, to be sure. I just hope he has some good information for us. Despite the heat, Soda looks as unruffled as ever. I do hope he isn't just pretending to be alright. Let's hear what Detective Ide has to say. Mockingbird sticker? Somewhere maybe? You can really see the heat. It's nicely done. Police box. That's just the police box I was waiting at. Something you were wondering about. Oh no, I just happened to find myself looking at it, that's all. Would you rather talk inside? Though there's no air conditioner, so it's probably cooler out here. Ah, it's quite alright. Talking out here should be fine. Boom. Just checking just in case for any bird sticker, but there doesn't seem to be any. Wondering about my suit, are you? It's just a cheap old thing. Sorry, I don't have anything more presentable. About Yamashina. So, did you manage to meet up with Master Yamashina? Yes, thank you again for your help there. It seems he's willing to hand the body over without any fuss. Really? That's great. Still, why would some big shot tycoon go to all that trouble to withhold a body? If everything I've heard is true, you could probably take him in on charges of desecrating a corpse, you know. Or was there something special about that corpse? Observant of you, detective. I can of course explain if you'd like to know more. Wait a second. Is it related to that secret department of yours? I think I'm better off not knowing if so. Oh really? I don't mind bringing you into the fold. Ma'am, please stop trying to rope him into helping us. I've never met the guy, but he is quite the cranky old geezer. How'd your meeting go? I'll bet he was pretty wary of you being with the police, but he didn't try to pick a fight or anything, did he? Ah, well, I'm not sure you could say it went smoothly, but I don't think we upset him at least, probably. You don't sound very sure about that. About the portrait sketch. Alright, that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. So I got all hands on deck to go around asking about that sketch you gave me. We finally found someone who recognized the victim. Oh, that's great news. The person who recognized him was a housewife in her 20s who lived in Kumano 7 years ago. Apparently the sketch looks like a 19-year-old she knew who left the village to go to the city. So 7 years ago he was 19, no? From the sounds of it, the guy had no relatives to speak of, left the village with nothing but the clothes on his back. She doesn't know what happened to him after that. I see. That would make him a young man with no relatives who left his hometown behind 7 years ago. Did we get a name for our mystery man? Sure did. His name was Kippei Ikuma. Kippei Ikuma. I looked him up in the residence registry, and it does look like he moved from Kumano to Ise City 7 years ago. But it seems he doesn't live at the place he put as his address anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate. I checked in with the apartment's landlord, and it would seem that about 6 years ago, the landlord had his contract terminated after he failed to both pay his rent and return to his apartment for several months straight. The landlord didn't put out a search request or anything, so that's where the trail ends, I'm afraid. If he went missing 6 years ago, I suppose it wouldn't surprise me if those were his remains. We'll keep looking to Ikoma to see if he was involved in anything that might have led to his murder. Of course, there's always the possibility we've got the wrong guy, so we'll keep asking around just in case. Please do. Toba seabed skeletons. A case in which multiple human skeletons were recovered from a deep fissure on the Toba seabed. The initial estimate indicates that at least 5 bodies had been disposed of there. The following information has not been made available to the public. Yeah, we read this before, but victims' identities unclear. All victims are male. Each body is thought to have been disposed of at different times. The most recent body dates to about 6 years ago. Facial sketch of this individual obtained using Sodo Kiryu's Shagan ability. Testimonies indicate that the individual in the sketch resembles a youth by the name of Kipi Ikoma, who went missing 6 years ago. He has no known relatives. The other remains show signs of gradual aging, with the oldest dating back more than 30 years ago. Although the presence of older remains has also been confirmed, they have completely decayed, and it is impossible to tell how old they are. It is unlikely that the bodies could have drifted into the fissure naturally, so it is thought that someone has been discarding them there every few years. Each skeleton shows signs of a clean, precise cut inflicted by a sharp blade. Traces of a curse were also detected from around the severed sections. The victims are believed to have been killed by a curse wielded by someone connected to the Heike. I think the text in yellow is what changed, or what is like new, or in addition to the old text we read. This is something I didn't like in the first Paranormasight game, because you kind of had to revisit the same text again and again if something changed. This is making this a little bit easier. Yeah. The woman who spoke to said that sketch was really accurate. No doubt in the mind it was Ikoma. Well, that accurate. Then I'm sure we've got the right person. Still, how did you even make that sketch? There was nothing left of the victim but bones. Ah, well, let's just say it's classified for now. Right, guess that means I shouldn't pry any further. About Somikawa. Oh yeah, I also looked into that lady you were asking about, Somikawa. Oh yes, did you find anything? Well, it seems she hasn't registered as a resident even though she moved here 5 years ago. Nothing came up for Somikawa in the civil registry either. So I'm afraid I don't have anything on who she is or where she came from. Sorry to disappoint. I see. Is that quite common? Happens. It's not unheard of for folks from the countryside to come here for work and just drift on, with no one really knowing who they are. Apparently it was really common during the post-war growth period. It seems we have quite a mystery woman on our hands. Yep, though there is something I've been wondering about. Oh, let's hear it. You have some idea who she might be? Well, have you heard of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster? It was a big maritime disaster that struck 5 years back. I have, yes. One of the victims of that disaster was an armor diver and housewife from Kamishima by the name of Mare Minaguchi. But it seems her maiden name was Somikawa. So our mystery woman shares a sure name with a maritime disaster victim? I'm impressed you managed to dig that up. Yeah, I was already looking into the Kamishima disaster because of the skeletal remains, so it was a happy coincidence if anything. Oh, so you thought they might be related too. I'm glad it wasn't just me. Anyway, it seems like the bodies of those disaster victims were never found in the end, which got me thinking. Wait, are you saying? Yep. I was thinking Mari Minakuchi could have survived the disaster 5 years ago. And you think she then moved to Ichika and started going by her old name of Sumikawa again? That's right, what do you think? It seems like a long shot, but maybe. But if that's the case, why would she have stayed in Ichika for 5 whole years without thinking to contact her family? Maybe she lost her memories in the disaster. Right, if she only had her old memories to rely on, it wouldn't be that odd if she went back to using her old name. Surely her appearance would still be the same, though it is difficult to imagine no one recognizing her for 5 whole years. It's possible she just never ran into anyone she knew. That kind of thing's more likely than you'd think. Oh, speaking of appearances, I found a picture of Mari Minakuchi from a report on the disaster. I haven't met this Sumikawa myself, so could you take a look for me and let me know what you think? Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. What do you think, Soto? If she'd aged 5 years and grown badly gaunt, I can certainly see how this woman might come to resemble Miss Sumikawa. My thoughts exactly. So you agree it's a pretty solid theory. It's certainly worth looking to, yes. But if she really is Mari Minakuchi, there's something else that concerns me. Something else? I can't deny Miss Sumikawa and Mari Minakuchi closely resemble each other, but could there really be a connection there? Sumikawa. Something about that name's been bothering me. Have I heard it somewhere before? This is just what I've heard. But it seems like the islanders over on Kamishima think this Mari Minakuchi was the cause of the disaster 5 years ago. What? Why would they think that? No idea, but it seems like it's pretty much taken for granted by most of the folks over there. Even just mentioning her name is a sort of taboo. So I was thinking it wouldn't be that odd if she felt she couldn't go back home because of that. Surely not. Seems as good a reason as any why she wouldn't want to come forward anyway. If she really is related to the storm 5 years ago, she's a point of interest regardless of her connection to the skeleton remains. Perhaps it's worth looking into that first. Can I leave talking to Miss Sumikawa to you too then? We'll handle that, yes. Yeah, and then she dies. So people believe this Mari Minakuchi called forth the curse of the raging waves 5 years ago, do they? I didn't expect the curse of the raging waves to come up here of all places. Wait. That's it. I remember now. The sole survivor of Taishima. His sure name was Sumikawa. There was something else about Sumikawa. A wooden box? Surely that would be too much of a coincidence. Well, that's about all I had to report. Thank you, Detective. That was very informative. As for our next move, could we ask you to keep looking into Kippei Ikuma for us? Roger that. We'll see if we can find Sumikawa again and hear what she has to say. Unfortunately, it looks like our trip to Kamishima will have to wait until tomorrow. So it seems. Oh, you had a business on Kamishima too? That was actually our original reason for coming here, yes. But now we've gotten caught up in all this other troublesome business, so it looks like dealing with that will have to come first. And here I was hoping to get this over with as soon as possible, so I could get back home to my husband. I see, you sure are devoted to your husband. Oh, very much, though I do worry as he never eats properly when I'm not around. In any case, please do get in touch if you find anything else of note. Even if it's just something out of the ordinary happening, anything could be of help. Sure, will do. Though you're kind of making me worried something might actually happen now. I'd certainly prefer it if it didn't. Anyway, we're counting you, Detective. The chapter is still not over? Toba City Coast. Date unknown, afternoon, Toba City, Ichika Town. Bad news, ma'am. It seems we were a step too late. What do you mean? It seems someone came and took that Sumikawa woman out to sea just a few minutes ago. What? According to the witness, a foreign man came to the port with Miss Sumikawa and Tao. They then boarded a motorboat that was moored there and headed out into the bay. It didn't appear to be by force, so we can probably assume they knew each other. Foreign man? Not sure what's going on, but we should probably get a boat and follow just in case. Yes, let's see if... Ah! Soda, what's wrong? The spiritual force is overwhelming. My body won't move. What's going on? Huh? That girl over there, is she doing this? You can withstand this curse. You really are quite strong, mister. Sorry, but I can't let you go any further. I'd have to ask you to leave. Voetic tukos pneuma, guardian spirit, grant me the wisdom of the numinous. O high guiding spirit, light my path ahead. It seems like they've saved us the effort of searching for them. So it seems. Let's see if this girl can tell us what we want to know. Is this still Paranormasight? What? Who are you? I could ask the same of you. What do you want with Miss Sumikawa? So you know who Miss Sumikawa is, do you? Maybe. What's it to you? Ma'am, this girl's spirit sense is extremely potent, but she lacks experience. She seems hesitant to employ curses against people. If I have an opening, I can use my curse of binding to restrain her. Usually it's too risky to use on ordinary people, but that shouldn't apply here. Alright, I certainly wouldn't mind getting some information out of her, so this is as good as an opportunity as any. I will see if I can get her to lower her guard. When she wavers, I will signal for you to use the curse of binding. Sounds like a plan? Sounds like a plan. On your signal. Use Sodo Kiryu's curse of binding to restrain your opponent when they let their guard down. Press the use curse button to signal to him to use it. You only have 3 chances to use the curse. What? What is this? Give up? Alright, we'll back off and leave you be. How does that sound? You're just trying to get me to drop my guard, aren't you? Not happening. Alright, here's the same. Compliment. Certainly have remarkable strength for your age. Why, it might even be too much for us. What's with the sudden praise? You'd creep me out. Threaten. If you resist anymore, we'll have you taken in for obstruction of public duties. Wait, you're with the police? A piece. No, there's no need to be so uptight. How about we stop all this and just talk a bit? Not happening. You're just going to use a curse the moment I drop my focus. Question. Can we assume the foreign man who took Miss Sumikawa is a friend of yours then? So what if he is? Why are you trying to follow them? What do you want with Miss Sumikawa? I could say the same to you. You just want the relic for yourselves, don't you? What? You know about the relic? You know about the relic. I'm afraid we can't let you get away. Get away? I'm the one holding you here. Okay. We'd rather not be heavy-handed about this either. Let's calm down and find some other way to resolve this, Sorry about that, it won't work on me. I'm at a rebellious age, you see. Threaten. Despite appearances, yes, defying us could not net you quite the heavy punishment. I see, you must be from Paranormal Affairs. Then I definitely can't do what you say. What? Who is she? You have quite some nerve standing up to us despite knowing where we're from. Don't think you will get off lightly for this. Threatening me won't get you anywhere. You can't arrest me unless it's an emergency, right? Oh, checkmark. Even knowing we're from Paranormal Affairs, you kept a straight face and hid your ties. I can tell you're both bold and smart. Oh, thanks, I guess. Will you give up now? You're also with Paranormal Affairs then? Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. I suppose this is the trouble with the secret departments, not even their own members recognize each other. What a bother. Okay. So we are both from Paranormal Affairs, are we? Let's talk. Perhaps there's some way we can help. I told you I don't know what you're talking about. It's none of your business anyway. So you're with Paranormal Affairs, but you need the relic yourself, so you're unwilling to cooperate with us, am I correct? If that's what you think, can you give up already? Alright, I understand where you're coming from. We won't interfere anymore. Soto, you can stop now. Man! Really? Thanks. Alright, I understand where you're coming from. We won't interfere anymore. So you can stop now. Ma'am. Really? Thanks. Use curse! You grown-ups and your dirty tricks! You did well to be cautious of us, but I'm afraid this is how grown-ups get things done. Now, will you tell us what you were up to here? Well, I suppose I've slowed you down enough. You'll never catch up to the boat now. Lacas Asteri, guide my path, and with thy merciful hands uphold me. What? She broke the binding? Bye-bye. Confound it. Stop right there! Looks like she's given us the slip. I hope we'll be able to catch her now. Still, I'm going to have a word with Paranormal Affairs about that girl. Devious adults, Sotokiru and Yumiko Shiki win a curse battle. I put in a call to Paranormal Affairs about our errant young lady just now. I assume she's indeed affiliated with them. Yes, it seems her name is Circe Lunar Light. She's an exorcist from England. What? I knew the Englands are here! Who's come here on exchange, part of her spiritual training as I understand. The Lunar Light family, I see. Oh, are they well known? I've heard of them, yes. They're a distinguished family of exorcists, quite an old one too. It would certainly explain the strength of the spirit sense. Right. In any case, it seems she's in the care of Paranormal Affairs while she's in Japan. Honestly, I do wish they'd tell us these things in advance. What is she doing here in Mie Prefecture? Well, it seems even Paranormal Affairs isn't sure what she's up to. They've been looking for her. From the sounds of things, she's been skipping her training assignments to travel around Japan, visiting all sorts of spiritual spots instead. It doesn't seem like they're keeping an eye on her at all. Unfortunately not. They asked me to tell her to return to Tokyo at once when we next see her. I see. More work for us then. Yes, the things we find ourselves caught up in. She seemed to know about Sumikawa too. I've got a bad feeling about all this. Shall we try looking for her? I imagine she's still in the area. No, not now. If all that is true, I doubt she'll be looking to cause too much trouble. Besides, I'm sure we'll run into each other again eventually. Well, I think that's enough trouble for one day. Let's call it a day. We'll head for Kamishima first thing tomorrow. Understood. What a chapter. And I think we didn't complete it, or did we? Wait, why does some have clouds about them, but some do not? Or maybe because this was a recollection, and these were just usual, like the normal chapters and I've unlocked. I don't know. Izushima investigation, date unknown, August 1908X afternoon. A prominent local named Yoshiatsu Yamashina has taken away the mermaid corpse under the name Unkakudono. Later they return to Ichika town to look for Azusa, but a foreign girl with psychic abilities stops them, forcing them to give up on their investigations for the day. Azusa? Who's Azusa? Wait, okay. Azusa? Well, whatever. Thank you for tuning in, and I need a break for my voice, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.